Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me this evening from Houston, Texas. For those who do not know me, I am Chari Twitty-Hawkins, your faith igniter, inspiring you to live your God inspired purpose, embrace your identity in Christ, and rock your faith like a boss. I am the CEO of Charity's Inspirational Creations and the author of Living Your God Inspired Purpose. And tonight I'm going to share with you 5 ways to help your child or your children cope during a time of crisis. Hello, Katrinka. Thank you so much for joining us. And as many of you know, and if you do not, the coast of Texas was recently hit by Hurricane Harvey, and we're still feeling the effects here in Houston through flooding. There's flooding in Port Arthur, there's flooding in Beaumont, and that's a lot of things that, us as moms, we have to, and as fathers, of course, we have to steer our children in a certain way to help them deal the best way possible. And I myself, I shared this on my personal page. Hi, Christina. Thank you so much for joining in. I ended up evacuating, which was, it wasn't a well, actually, I guess it kind of was, but I was very unsure about whether I wanted to stay here because some of us were thinking, oh, it's not going to be that bad. Hurricane Harvey's not going to be that bad. But then, of course, I was watching the news and they were saying how much rain is going to be, how much flooding. So I was like, I don't know what decision I'm going to make. And at the last minute, Friday morning, I decided to head to Grand Prairie, which is near Dallas, to my sister's house and take the kids with me. This is a good topic, girl. So when I was there, we traveled there, and one of the reasons that I took them, that we went, is because from a mom's perspective, I was like, I went through Hurricane Ike, I stayed here. And I'm actually going to talk about this on my blog at cicinspireme.com a little bit more in length. But I know with that, Hurricane Ike was frightening with the rain and the thunder and the lightning and it was just frightening for me. And this was before I had kids. And so I was like, I don't even want to go through that with my children. I don't want to be trying to, comfort them and trying to comfort myself when I know I'm probably scared out of my mind. So anyway, we're in Grand Prairie with my sisters, and she has the news on. We're watching it, the coverage, the live coverage about where Hurricane Harvey is hitting, what it's doing, how people are getting flooded out, all of these things. And so I'm like, man, let me see. I have my son. He's just what I would call a typical boy. He's everywhere. He ain't even paying attention. I'm sure he's paying attention because he's very smart, but he's not worried about it because he doesn't see me acting like I'm worried. But I know my daughter, she can sometimes, things affect her a little bit more. So I wanted to present it to her and I wanted to see how she would react. So I showed her, I was like, Journey, come here. And I showed her, the flooding and everything in Houston. And she was like, oh no, where's daddy? Because my husband had to stay because of work, because he's essential personnel, which, ugh, that's a whole other story with worrying, me and worrying about my husband. But anyway, so I let her know that daddy's fine, he's okay, he's not flooded, he's safe, he's at work, or when he came home, he's at home. Made sure we FaceTime plenty of times so that she would know, they would know that he's okay. But from that, I just wanted to share with you guys again 5 ways to help your child cope during a time of crisis. And just going along with that part of the story there, that part of my story, don't shelter your children from the crisis, whatever it may be, whether it's the loss of a loved one, whether it's a crisis that they're dealing with at school, with a friend, whatever the crisis may be, don't shelter them. Because a lot of times, us as moms, dads can be different. Dads will be like, let them go through it, let them deal with it. But us as moms, we want to hide them from it. We don't want them to be hurt. We don't want them to see the negativity, but you want to expose it to them like I did. I didn't have her staring at the TV watching the news, but I let her know, there's a flood, there's a hurricane going on in Houston and other cities in South Texas, and this is what can happen. And also, along with that, don't shelter your responses. Now, I'm not saying have a big breakdown in front of your kids, which sometimes that's called for, but if you're feeling sad, let them let them see that. Okay? If you're feeling angry, let them see that. Now, the Bible does say angry, but do not sin, so don't take it too far. But if you know you're angry about something, don't try to hide it and pretend like, Mommy's okay. Mommy's all perfect. This doesn't bother mommy. Because guess what? They're going to grow up. And when they have to deal with the crisis, they're not going to know how to deal with it correctly and healthy in a healthy manner because their mom did not or their dad did not show them how. So don't shelter them from it. And if they want to talk to them about it and listen. Don't just halfway listen, actively listen. That's actually something that's very important because you want your kids to be able to talk to you and know that you're listening. If they have a million questions, you might have to go on and answer those million questions, okay? Because my twins, my 7-year-old twins, oh my goodness. Sometimes I'm thinking, why do you keep asking me questions? But sometimes they really don't understand, and especially if this is their first crisis they've gone through or this type of crisis, they may not really understand and they may need a basic breakdown. So make sure, again, you talk to them and you actively listen. Don't be on your phone. Don't be staring at the TV. And don't be doing this. Huh? Oh, I don't know, baby. Don't do that. Give them your full attention and actively listen. Guys, if you know any moms or dads or anybody whose child is going through a crisis, please share this with them or tag them in the comments so that they can watch this on the replay. And replay viewers, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, you can comment below any aha moments you may have, and you can share this video as well. So that's number 2. Actively listen and talk with your children about the crisis. And number 3 is spend quality time with them. Like with the hurricane, I went to my sister's house. We had a lot of free time. Okay? So I took that time to realize, sounds good. What is most important in your life? The people you love. But when there's a situation where you know that your whole house, all the memories you have in that house may be completely wiped out, some of us, we focus on that. Some of us get too caught up in that. But I said to myself, I want to focus on what, like it says, what truly matters most is my children. So I took more time to spend time with them, to talk to them, to watch them play with their cousins and act silly and laugh and just really cherish those moments. Because all of this can be replaced, but nothing can replace my children. So make sure you spend more time with them. And that also will give them a sense of security. They may not reach out and say, oh, mommy, I need you. Mommy, I need you now. But the fact that, oh, y'all hear my son? The fact that, you're around may give them the blanket of security that they need from you as a parent. So again, that's number 3. Spend more time with your children and your husband too. If you're married, I know this isn't about husbands, but as a family unit, spend more time with your family. And number 4, share with them or show them where people are being heroes during the tragedy or someone is helping. For instance, we talked about the first responders, the firemen, the volunteers, Houstonians helping fellow Houstonians, which I have absolutely loved to see. Share that with them because sometimes even us as adults, we get caught up in what bad has happened. We get caught up in the tragedy, but we don't think about the positive sides, what good is coming out. It seems like what we call a racial divide, we've had a lot of that in our country, but during this time, a lot of people have shown that that does not matter to them, and they've helped one another. And you want to, expose your children to that. Let them see the positive side of that. And number 5, let your children know God is in control. No matter what happens, again, if someone passed away, if something happened at school, or something like a natural disaster, let them know that God is in control. Don't let them think that the negative circumstance is going to swallow them up and eat them whole. Because sometimes, again, even as adults, we think like that. So I know as a child, you can possibly think like that and get that mindset just going and going. And that's why it's very important to make sure you talk to your children. Like I said before, talk to your children and actively listen. And make sure, let me go and give y'all this quick bonus, know when it's time to seek help. I know a lot of us, especially in the African American community, we don't want to go to a counselor or a therapist, or we want to keep what's going on with us inside of us. And sometimes that will eat you alive. But watch your child. Again, watch them. Watch their mannerisms. Do they seem sadder than usual? Do they seem more aggressive since the crisis happened? Are the words that you're saying not getting to them? Do you feel like maybe they're becoming depressed, anything like that? Know that there are people, there are mental health professionals that can help your child. So don't let your pride and your, I don't want nobody to know my business, and all of that, don't let that stop you from helping your child heal. All right, guys? Well, I'm going to do a quick recap of the 5 ways to help your child cope during a crisis. Please, again, share this with your friends here on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, wherever you may be watching this. And make sure you tag your friends as well, because some of us, again, as parents, we're so busy during our day to day. And then when there's a crisis, it's all like this. And we don't even think that we need to really sit down and focus on our children and how they are dealing with the crisis. We just want to try to shelter them from it or not let them see the bad stuff. But we want to make sure we're focusing on them as well and ourselves, which there will be another video. But again, just to reintroduce myself, I am Chari Twitty-Hawkins, your faith igniter, inspiring you to live your God-inspired purpose, embrace your identity in Christ, and rock your faith like a boss. And 5 ways to help your child cope with a crisis is number 1, don't try to shelter it from them. Do not try to hide what is going on, because they're going to find out, and then they may learn things from other sources that you did not want them to learn. So make sure you're not sheltering them from the incident that happened, or your reaction. If you're emotional about it, let them see that. If you're sad, let them see you cry. You don't want your child to grow up and say, I don't even know how to deal with my emotions, because I never saw a positive example of that. I never knew I was supposed to express my emotions. You don't want that. So again, number 1, don't shelter them. Number 2 is talk to them and actively listen. Put down your cell phones, put down whatever it is, your iPad. Don't be half talking to somebody or half watching TV and listening to your child. Talk to them. And if this is a crisis situation and they have a lot of questions, be willing to answer those questions so that they can understand what's going on. Number 3, spend more quality time with your children and provide that, that security that they may need during that time of crisis. Again, even though they may not ask for it, be there for them. Number 4, share with them the positive side and the heroes during the tragedy. We don't want to be focusing on just the negative. I can't believe all of this happened. I see people posted on Facebook about Hurricane Harvey, about different negative things that are going on, and then people in the comments going back and forth and back and forth. I'm like, what is going on? Do y'all not know that that energy is going to be put out in your home, the way you react? So you want to make sure that you're focusing on the positive, sharing the positive with your children. Who are the heroes? What blessings are going to come out of that situation? Sometimes I know it's hard, but I want you to sit down. If it seems just so negative to you and there's no positive, pray and ask God, show me what they say is the silver lining in this situation, so that I can share this with my child so that they can grow and know that they need to look for the positive in every situation. And again, number 5, let your children know that God is in control, that no matter what, that negative situation does not have to win and will not win if we keep our eyes focused on God. And again, that bonus tip, do not be afraid to know when to seek help. If your child seems like nothing's working, nothing's cheering them up, they seem overly aggressive, seek help. Again, there are mental professionals to help you. And if you guys have any questions or need any of these resources, let me know down in the comments, and I will definitely comment below and share that information with you. All right, guys. Well, I hope this inspired you. Again, please share this with your friends or comment below any aha moments or any questions you may have. All right, guys, I am praying for you. State of Texas, my fellow Houstonians, I am praying for you. I am praying for you. I am praying for you. Getting some stuff donated together to donate, as well as volunteering. So, faith without works is dead. So I'm praying for you, but I will also be putting in work along with what? My children, because we got to leave that legacy. All right, guys, y'all have a wonderful evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in the world. Take care, and God bless.